So, Nipsey on my mind early this morning. It's been hard to sleep the past couple of days. And I don't want to make this about how he died or any of that. I want to make this about the way that he lived. Because Nipsey was living in his purpose. He was walking in his purpose. Everything he was doing because that's what he was put here to do. So, he's immortalized forever. So when you look at the tweet that he put, it's even further confirmation on the synchronicity that nothing really happens that's not supposed to happen. He tweeted and said, having powerful enemies is a blessing. So you got to understand that it was that hate and jealousy, and that's what made him a martyr. See, he's forever immortalized now. Regardless of what you can try and say and do, he did all those things that he did while he was here. He died doing those same things. He was in the process of still doing those things when his life was taken from him. And, a lot of people are talking about he died at the age of 33. But we have to understand the symbology behind that energy still. Even with the statement that he made, having powerful enemies is a blessing. In one of his songs on the marathon, he said you couldn't have Jesus without Judas. So you got to understand that he's immortalized now. In his death, he's a martyr. He can do no wrong now. See, what we have to do is not about how he died. What we got to do is keep his movement going. What we got to do is pick the ball up and keep running with what he was trying to do. He said he wanted his people to step into their greatness, to be great. He knew himself. He knew who he was. He had knowledge of self. See, that's what's missing amongst most people in the black community. We have no knowledge of self. That's why we hate ourselves. That's why there's so much self-hate. That's why somebody who looked just like him from the neighborhood that he from can go and kill him the way that they did, regardless if somebody put him up to it or not, regardless. The point of the matter is, at the root of that shit, is nothing but self-hate. It's self-hate. And it's not a coincidence that the movie Us just came out. Because niggas gotta understand, sometimes the enemy is just us. The enemy is the way we fucking think. The enemy is the fact that we are a people who have the mind of another race. We're a people who are Europeanized. So we look at everything that's ours, everything that originate with us, and we look at it in a negative way. Because we've been brainwashed to think that everything about us is bad. And he was a person who knew better. He was a person who knew the power in being who you are. He was a person who understood who we were and where we come from. And that we ain't nothing but gods and goddesses. And we just need to get back to our greatness. We need to remember who we are. And he embodied that in everything that he did, yo. Everything that he did showed that that's who he thought he was. And he was being who he thought he was. So, we can't let him die for nothing, yo. We can't let him just be taken out this way and we don't pick up the ball and run with it. We can't do that, yo. Now this is the time, yo. This is the time that we decide either we're going to be afraid, and we're going to say, oh, you can't never do nothing in the hood, or we're going to say, the government kill everybody. Either we're going to be afraid or we're going to take that shit and we're going to use that as some ammunition. I don't know about y'all, but that shit is fuel to my fire. It's fuel to my fire because that's a like spirit to me. That's a kindred spirit. I mean, the brother talked about energy and so many other things that we have no idea about anymore because we've lost that connection with who we were. Y'all owe it to him. Y'all owe it to him to really, truly step into your greatness, yo. Y'all owe it to him to really find out the truth about who we are as a people. Y'all owe it to him to step up and be better than what the fuck we been. Because at the end of the day, accountability, you're not going to get nowhere with accountability. You're not going to get nowhere always blaming. Man, we know that this system is fraudulent. We know this is a fucked up system. We know this. But we also know that we the gods. So if that's the case, how is it that we always allow these things to stop us? And you cannot be afraid of dying. There ain't no freedom if you're afraid of dying. There's no freedom if you afraid to die. Because when you afraid to die, you're not gonna be able to stand up for this shit. See, he said a number of times over, he said he was not afraid to lose his life behind what he was doing. He said that you cannot be afraid. You cannot be spiritually free. That's how the people of Haiti got their freedom. They weren't afraid of dying. See, really, the spiritual warfare, this shit is starting with the spirit, man. It's starting with the spirit. And all I'm saying is, if y'all really want to keep that brother legacy alive, then y'all got to do and say and be everything that he was trying to fucking be and say and show all of us and how to do. He was doing his job. Please believe he is celebrated with the elders, with the ancestors. He is celebrated. It was a celebration for his cosmic return. He did his job. He did his fucking work. He did enough work for fucking 1 million of us. So what we gonna do?